This is what happened in London. Look at all of the people lined up in the street there, all to honor the victims, Shelley, of the Orlando nightclub shooting.
All right, it's just been incredible to see how people react to this. But one of the toughest parts, especially as a parent, is what do you say to your kids? Do you say something to your children? So we have a conflict resolution expert here, Veronica Seitz. She's joining us. You've written books about this. I was telling you, I turned on the TV, I saw 50 dead, I turned it off. I'm in the car on the radio and I'm turning it down. And, you just don't even know what to do. Do we let them in on this? Do we let them know this is what's going on in our world, or we keep it a secret? Or are they just going to find out anyway?
I think it's important to limit. You're wise to turn it down, but they're going to hear things, and because instability has happened, normal's been interrupted, and everybody's looking for that stability, that sense of security. When children perceive that something's been hidden from them, that does not lend to productive and healthy reassurance that this is a time that they can count on you as a parent as much as it is possible.
And so using us, just being present for them, is the key all around.
Being present, being consistent, and when I say consistent, if you tell them you're going to be home at 4 o'clock and you see that that's not going to happen, you've got to get word to them to let them know that you're okay and you'll be there within the reasonable amount of time, so that you're not just constantly pushing that time back, because that pushing of the time back just makes them a little more uneasy.
Another thing is to closely monitor their technology use. So whether they're seeing the shooting video on YouTube or Snapchat, or maybe they're posting their emotions. What do you mean by monitoring technology?
There's not a healthy need to take a lot of data input, because what happens psychologically is that their brains are recording all of this information. And because we live in a very high technology age, this is real.
Yeah.
And what they need the reassurance of is that interaction with the people closest to them, and letting them know there's a lot of people really hurting right now, and out of respect, let's not watch that like a movie.
Because it's so interesting now. It's like you don't just talk about it. We can be in the nightclub and see the shooting. So the main thing is to answer their questions, maybe not offer a ton, but answer and ask them if they have questions.
Very simple.
Okay.
You just want to keep it simple at all times. Do you have any questions? What are your concerns?
And the other thing is even as an adult, and Marcus and I were talking about this, we're still processing this. I don't know anybody in Orlando, but I'm still processing this. So how do I then turn around and process it for my child when I'm thinking, well, shoot, anybody could be anywhere anymore and be gunned down?
Well, processing for a child is a little bit different, because depending on what their age, their developmental ability to reason what has happened is very different than an adult. They're very dependent on the security and the stability that their primary caregivers give to them. And for us, we recognize as primary caregivers we're limited as to how much we can protect our children.
Right, but don't let them know that.
Don't let them know that. Just be the pillar, and the strongest pillar that you can be is a vulnerable one, to say, you know what, this is very upsetting to me too, and we're going to get through this together.
Okay, that's great advice. Thank you, Veronica, for coming in. We appreciate it. All right, let's get over to Marcus.
As we were talking about earlier, when a tragic and traumatic event like this happens, it's all over the news, of course, and social media. So how do you help children to digest exactly what's happened? Grief counselor Veronica Seitz says to monitor how much your children are on phones, computers, and watching television, especially, as Izzy was talking about, those younger kids. You don't want them to over-consume details. Do answer any questions they may have about the event, because getting them to talk actually helps them to process their feelings around what's happened. And take time to reassure your kids that they are safe and you are here for them.
If you see behavioral changes in the children, they're not eating, maybe they're not sleeping, a little more clingy, they want to sleep with you, even teenagers. This is not limited to small children, toddlers. It's just the reassurance that, I need to touch you, I need to know that you're here.
Now, social anxiety, a lot of us have been talking about this. It can pop up for many of us, that feeling of, gosh, I'm really not safe anywhere these days. Well, SITE says you've got to recreate a sense of safety for yourself and for your family by acknowledging, yes, there was an event, but now it's over, and that's really when the healing can begin. For more health news, just head to WFAA.com/health. Sonia Azad, Channel 8 News.